Hello everyone, welcome to your general weekly reading for the week beginning October 2nd, 2017. This week I will be using the Vibrational Energy Oracle card deck by W.A. Anderson for the general theme. And for the rest of it, I will be using the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. These are great cards. So, how was your week last week? I would love to hear about it. My week was super interesting. I was clearing a ton of stuff. A lot of old patterns and belief systems came up to the surface. So I would be very interested to see how yours was, how people were around you, if you got any sort of clarification on anything you have been thinking about, or if you got into any strange arguments, or if any old wounds opened up, anything. I would love to hear about it. Please let me know below. Tuning into this week, it should be an interesting week. I'm kind of feeling like it's a very ungrounded week. So making sure that you have your grounding cord coming out from your tailbone to the center of the planet. Of course, you visualize this happening. I don't think it's physically possible to do that. And you can also ground yourself by imagining roots coming out of your feet, or you can walk outside in your bare feet, or just even being outside in the sun is really grounding. It's really nice. And just staying connected to the earth. Sometimes it's nice to float away up into the higher dimensions, but if you're not grounded in your body, then it's going to be really hard to live in third dimensional reality. And you're not gonna, it's not always good for your physical body if you're living ungrounded. So, and not to mention you're going to blow electrical work. Like you can blow electrical sockets, you can blow light bulbs and stuff like that if you're super ungrounded. So just make sure that this week you are staying as grounded as possible, because that energy likes to kind of come in and take you away. So in addition to that, part of being grounded is letting go and not stressing and trying to fix things over and over again. So if you have something that you want to bring into your life, simply make it known that that's what you want. This is what I want. This is what I want to bring in. This is what I want to get rid of, and let it go. Stop overthinking about it. Stop being angry if it's not in your life, or if it's not showing up the way that you want to. Allow it to appear in your life, whether it's from you coming to a realization, or you coming up with a solution in your head, or if it's the universe bringing you your solutions. Because if you're so busy being wrapped up in your story, you're starting to kind of float away, and then you won't even see it when your solutions come to you, because they may not necessarily look like what you think or what you want, and you're going to completely miss it, which isn't good. So try as hard as you can to stay grounded this week. And when the energies kind of try to take you away, when you're in yoga and meditation, stuff like that, just like check in with yourself, make sure you're grounded, because you can start to feel dizzy. I'm also feeling like this week is a bit challenging, lots of self-doubt and criticism. So if you're acknowledging that that is something that you are dealing with this week, just know that that's kind of the pressures that are coming in externally and making you feel a bit uncomfortable. It's just kind of helping that stuff come up to the surface so that you can get rid of it. So it's not bad by any means. It's a loving gift from the universe saying, you have all this stuff that matches all this stuff coming in. Maybe you should let it go. So being careful not to judge yourself too much or be too hard on yourself. Treat yourself with lots of self-love, and allow everything that doesn't serve you to go. And that is also any belief systems or any self-criticism that comes out, questioning it. Like, is this even mine? And if it's not, simply asking the angels to take it away from you. And if it is yours, start to dissect it. Ask questions. Why do I think this way? If this were true, what would that mean for me? Where did this come from? And you can start to kind of see it for what it is. And then if you know, say you hate your hips, if you know why that feeling is there in your body, it's probably 100% related to something else. And so that when those belief systems and thoughts come up to your head, you can say, oh no, I'm actually feeling the call because I don't feel loved in this area of my life. And there's lots of power in that too. And then those bad voices or those negative thought patterns stop playing through your head, and they leave more space for more productive thoughts to happen, because nobody wants to sit around thinking negative things all the time. So it's coming up because it needs to go. And the angels, of course, can help you with that. And this energy this week will, I think, test us in that way and bring stuff up. Anything else? They're bringing up this story, so I will tell it. I was on the train earlier this week, and there was this man, and he seemed super mad, but I didn't really pay too much attention because I was in my own stuff. And he had all these bags, and he was like yelling about people being assholes and whatever. So then he picks up the phone and he starts talking to someone, and he's complaining about how everyone on the train is a horrible person and how nobody's offering their seat to him, and how, you know, we should all die, and all of these ridiculous things. And so I was listening to this and I was getting mad. And so I turned to him and I offered him my seat. But because he was so busy being mad and focusing on a particular seat that he wanted, that these teenage girls took, instead of asking those teenage girls to sit there, he was yelling about how everyone was a horrible person, and he wasn't taking in his own power and asking someone for their seat, which most of us would offer. If somebody asks you for their seat and they have a bunch of bags, most of the time you're going to give it up. But also, not everybody that has a bag wants to sit. I have offered my seat to many people who have more stuff than I do, and some of them say no. I've offered, other people have offered pregnant women seats and they'd say no too. So you can't just assume that everybody who has a lot of stuff wants to sit. So it was totally fair that nobody had given him their seat because he didn't ask. He was just getting mad and he was being aggressive, and he was trying to get out his frustration in the way that he knew how. But because he was so wrapped up in his bullshit, he didn't see that somebody was actually giving him exactly what he wanted. Because whether he chose to ignore me so that he could keep playing in his story, he wasn't getting the exact seat that he had his eyes on. So he completely lost this opportunity over here. And so whether he actually really cared about the seat or not, he just wanted a way to express his anger. He went about it in a very childlike, unproductive way, because nobody wants to sit around and hear that. That does not solve any of your problems. And truthfully, you're a grown person, like all of us grown-ups. We all need to ask for what we want. You can't just go through life expecting people to give you things because you just assume that they know what you want. And I'm going to write an entire article about this, but the angels just keep reminding me of this because this is going to be really important this week. If you need something, if you need time to connect with yourself or to go out with your girlfriends, you need to make it happen, because most of the time, nobody's going to come to you with a silver platter with everything that you want. We're not mind readers, and everyone has their own stuff. So the next time you find yourself getting lost in your story, take a second to let go of the sense of control, which however you do that, it's totally your call. You can burn, words, like you can write words down like control freak and burn them. You can ask the angels to take it. You can meditate on it. You can breathe it out. Whatever you do, focus on getting rid of it so that you can let go and welcome in whatever blessings are going to come in and solve this problem for you. Because if you just keep focusing on how horrible everyone else is for not giving you what you want, you will never get it. Or when it does come to you, from the redheaded girl sitting right to your right, you won't get a seat. So in the end, did he get a seat? No. But did he get what he wanted? Maybe he wanted an outlet for all of his anger and fear. But he probably didn't leave feeling good about any of it. And then at the end of the train ride, he then yelled at those girls for not giving him their seat, instead of just asking them for the seat. Which then, if they didn't give it to him, are they jerks? Maybe. But the moral of this story is, nobody is going to read your mind. You have to ask people for what you want. Otherwise, you have no right to be mad at anybody for not having what you want. It's time for us to take ownership over our own needs and stop blaming everyone else. The angels lately are not messing around. They were like, yes, this is the lesson. This is what you need to say. Like, anyways, in my own life, they're doing that as well. So I think it's all time for us to smarten up, because we don't have time for this bullshit anymore, you guys. I'm sorry for swearing. Okay, so this card popped out for the theme before the reading did start. So this is Medicine Wheel. So this is kind of you are this person here. And so the general theme of the week is that you need to be the bridge between the light and not dark, but I guess the dark. The earth is the opposite of the light. You know, it's dense, it's heavy, it's all of that stuff. So be the bridge in between those places. And when you are the bridge, that's where healing happens, is because you're welcoming in both sides and you're accepting both the light and the dark, which allows you to fully integrate and not to reject anything, and that you can actually start to be a happy, full person. Because all of these bad things that we seem to reject in ourselves doesn't go away. They just stay deep down. And then they come up in times like this, where you're on a train and you want to sit down. It tends to come up in those times. So deal with it and allow the energy to help you through figuring all of that out. In addition to that, medicine wheels are an awesome way to heal, to channel, to go on shamanic journeys, anything like that. If you have the opportunity to learn how to make a medicine wheel, or if you have opportunity to attend a ceremony, I would definitely suggest trying that out. And if you do have, hi there, sorry about that. I was having a weird computer situation, so I just stopped the recording and started it again. So, in summary, medicine wheel, if you have the opportunity to participate in ceremony or to have a medicine wheel or to create one, definitely do that this week and have a seat inside of it and watch as amazing things happen. Okay, and so the rest of the week, we are having Monday, Tuesday. Wow, you guys, every card is a major arcana card. Okay, so this is really crazy. So looking at this reading, first of all, not a whole lot of control you have this week for things that occur in your life. So just be the center of the tornado. Allow the chaos to happen around you and just stay centered in you. Even if you're not completely happy and you're not at peace, try to stay centered to yourself, connected to what you truly want, how you truly are. Don't allow other people to influence you if you can help it. I know that's sometimes difficult, but just knowing that all of the weird stuff that's happening around you, it's not because of anything that you did. It's just because these are the universal things. So big changes can also happen this week because there is so much major arcana, and those are traditionally attached to big life changes. So it's going to be exciting. So I would love to hear what big changes you experience this week. So the Chariot, Archangel Metatron, an important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. So the Chariot. The Chariot can mean if you are actually on, like if you're traveling, it can mean safe travels. But it can also mean, most of the time, it's the vehicle. So it's taking you where you want to go. So like we kind of talked about before, that if you have certain things that are holding you back from what you want to be doing, this energy this week, you can just ride it to where you want to go. So all of those things that are popping up that are holding you back, allow them to clear so that that can be your transportation to where you want to be, because those old patterns don't have a place in this new spot that you're going to go to. Anything else with that? This is talking about an important achievement, self-discipline, willpower, and public recognition. So yeah, some of you, this is business related. So having a big break in business. They're showing me a person on a stage, public speaking, and the news covering it. So if that's something that you're doing this week, I think that's going to be really great for you. And that will bring more business and rewards and all of that. And because this is a general reading, this can flow into other weeks. So good luck with all of that. I hope that you get a ton of business. So midweek, we have Unity, Archangel Sandalphon. Yeah, I said that. Traditional viewpoints or methods, spiritual organization, seek out mentors and like-minded friends. And so this is kind of going within the self and scanning and seeing what needs to be addressed, what needs to be changed, what needs to be evolved, and then seeking out those teachers and those external opinions to help you get to where you need to be. So sometimes we need help getting to where we want to go. And sometimes it starts with a traditional viewpoint, maybe going and talking to a priest about something, or talking to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, things like that. Also, mentors are great if you have the opportunity to learn from somebody who you admire in any form in your life. That would be a really good opportunity. And for some of you, this is a person entering in. So we've been talking about a person to help you coming in the last few weeks. So for some of you, this happens this week, which is really exciting. And for some of you, this transforms into a deeper relationship with somebody who is very like-minded, kind of like a kindred spirit kind of thing. So that will also bring a ton of healing and a ton of delicious, is the word they're using, delicious insights and opportunities for the future. Anything else with that? Symbols. So meditate on symbols. If you're a symbols person, if you find power in symbols, or you know of symbols like the chakra symbols, or like Reiki symbols or stuff like that, that would be a really good thing for you to do, to even help with in your manifestations. If you're trying to manifest that mentor or something like that, if you're a Reiki person, you want a Reiki mentor, drawing symbols, even if you don't know how to draw them, just like looking at a picture and like putting your intentions into it about, or your manifestation requests like into the symbol. And the symbol does carry a vibrational power, so that can help bring it to you faster. Okay, and the yin yang. So the yin yang symbol is all about polarity and wholeness within. And wholeness within ourselves is the full integration of the light and dark, which is kind of which is in the same line. So this is, again, coming back to that idea of being the channel in between the dark and the light, and finding balance between it. So you're not going to one side over another too much. You're kind of living. It's the same like divine feminine, divine masculine. Finding a nice balance in between the masculine and feminine breeds a happy life. It allows you to be balanced in all areas of your life and to act in ways that are truly appropriate for each situation. So working on that this week and balancing the polarities in your life. Especially women. Women have been on my mind this week a lot, and kind of this belief and expectations that are put on women to be. You should be this way. You should be happy. And when you're not happy, people just instantly think you're mad. And how there's lots of unfair bias between being a woman and men as well. But my focus was more on women this week because I am a woman. That's the reality in which I live and I observe. So finding balance as a woman with being masculine. You don't have to be a man to have masculine energy. You do have masculine energy as well as feminine, and getting in touch with that and being comfortable with that. And if you're a man, getting in touch with the divine feminine and engaging in nurturing and creative activities to balance that side of you, because you need to be the entire thing. You need to be balanced. You need to be the entire yin yang symbol. So utilize this energy this week. If you are looking for a mentor or a new friend, maybe try somebody of the opposite sex and just have a conversation with them about your experiences or anything at all, and just absorb their point of view and just try to understand it from their dominant energy field. If that makes sense. It's all about polarities this week. If you follow a certain religion and you're very stuck in that, if you're very dedicated to that and you're not willing to, or you're not generally interested in learning about other religions, this would be a great week for you to look at an opposite direction, just to kind of put yourself in those people's shoes, in that society, so that you can try to come to an understanding. Even if you don't agree with what they're doing, you can have an objective, compassionate appreciation for it. That is really important for our development this week. Okay, and for the weekend we have release and Archangel Azrael, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. So, along the same lines, releasing past judgments, releasing old outdated belief patterns. For both men and women, we need to just throw out all of the old belief patterns and systems that we have created around both men and women, and trying to start anew. Everybody should be allowed to be anybody. Like, if you're a woman, you shouldn't have to fall within the exact compounds of what a woman should look like, or completely reject that and live here just so that you're not conforming to society. You should be able to find a balance in between that, and live in a state of balance where you do move on the scale, but you're not forced to stay in any one place, in any extreme over another, because of the expectations of society, whether you reject it or you fully conform to it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the traditional male and female roles, other than the fact that if you're not aligning to that as who you truly are, then that's the issue. In any situation, if that is truly who you are, then own it. But if it's not, you shouldn't follow. There are no shoulds. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying shouldn't. But don't feel as though you have to live there. You can express who you truly are. And that's what this week is all about. It's about finding the balance between both sides of light and dark, and not judging either side. It's about letting go of the stuff that's not you and that doesn't serve you, and allow that release to happen this weekend. Let it go with love. Let it go of the old stories. Let go of the garbage. It's kind of the same theme every week. I think we're in a time of mass release on a really big scale. And allowing old news and old phases of your life to end. If you're done with a job, then It's time to go. It's time to find something different. Life is too short for you to stay somewhere that you don't like. So start on that exit plan. Maybe some of you will end up quitting this Friday, which would be awesome for you if that's what you want. Yeah, and allowing the spiritual transformation to come from within and push out. And that's the balance of life. Life is a spiritual practice. The balance of the feminine and the masculine, that is a spiritual practice all on its own, and that is a spiritual transformation. And you won't always live in the middle every day, but that's not what it's all about. It's not about being perfect. It's about connecting to yourself and expressing the real you through authenticity. Is really. So I hope this reading made sense to you. I hope that you have a fantastic week. I'm so curious to see what happens. I apologize for the length of this video. I was trying to keep it short, but that's not how I roll. So hopefully you got lots out of this. If you want a private reading, feel free to email me at thejourneytospirit@gmail.com. And my website is katiehunt.ca. So I'll put all that information down below. And I am sending you so much love this week. Stay connected to who you are and be ready to let go of stuff that you don't want anymore and allow it to come in. Allow the solutions to come in and express themselves for you. So have a fantastic week. Sending you so much love. Thank you for watching.